Welcome back to the Lonely Stoner podcast. I hope you've all had a wonderful day today, unless it's the morning, in which good morning to you. Let's dive right in. Okay, so me and my mum earlier today, we were talking about, you know, controlling parents, controlling and strict, either or, parents and the effects it has on the child's life from childhood to teenage years and ultimately adulthood, you know? And my parents are, they're not that strict. They're pretty easygoing in most aspects, but there's a couple things that they just don't allow, you know? And those couple things I want to, go out and do in the world. And it's kind of, it makes me feel a bit ungrateful, since I have a wonderful family. I get, all these privileges, and yet I still want more. And I don't know if that's normal or not. Well, obviously it's normal, it's human nature to want more, but I don't know if it's like bad that I feel like I want more even though they already give me a lot, you know what I mean? Yeah, I wonder if, do any of you guys experience that? Where like you have pretty easygoing parents, like they're not strict or controlling at all, but there's this one thing that they don't like, and you really want to do that one thing. For example, going out at night, right? My parents don't like me out at night, which, and I love nighttime. Like, I adore being out at night and, listening to music like, the music on the background of the podcast, and just enjoying, the views. I love, I love nighttime, and yeah, I've got a pretty strict curfew most of the time, and unless I'm with like a group of friends, I'm not allowed to go many places at night. And I don't really have that many friends, so it's kind of difficult. But anyways, I'm going to talk about other people's lives. And I'm going to try my best to be as unbiased and empathetic as possible. Not empathetic, what's the word? Like, try and put myself in someone else's shoes, you know? And, alright. Strict parents. Uh, you know, what creates a strict parent? What's classified as a strict parent, right? Are we talking parents that are super strict on everything, or just one aspect? Because I met a guy the other day, and he said his parents are super strict, and I was like, oh yeah, like how? And he's like, oh well, I'm not allowed like Snapchat or Instagram, and this guy was 16, and I was like, damn, that's rough. And he was like, oh yeah, I'm also not allowed at night, and I'm like, yes, I am, bro. And it's like, yeah, so I try and spend a lot of time away from home just so I can, get away from the controllingness. And I'm like, damn, like, parents are creating an environment for their children that they don't like, and I think that's not good for the child, in my personal opinion. It doesn't it doesn't sound like a crazy opinion. I mean, if you create an environment that your child doesn't like, then in turn your child's gonna want to leave, right? And I don't think that's, parents, love their children, most parents. And for example, my parents, they like me to be home because they like seeing me and being around me and knowing I'm safe and sound, you know? So, you know, it it's weird to me because I'm nowhere near being a parent yet, right? And I know that by the time I am a parent, my opinions will have probably changed on this topic. Maybe not actually. Maybe they'll stay the same and I'll just be a really cool parent. You never know. But yeah, I mean, what creates a strict parent? Is it like that you love your child so much that you just can't let anything happen to them at all costs? Because that's not a good way to parent your kid. Because that just creates like a little. You're just putting them in cushions at all time, and that makes a weak child. You know, like if you block out every bad thing in a kid's life as they're growing up, when they hit adulthood and they get hit with, you know, the reality of life, they're gonna struggle a lot. Or at least that's what I think. I mean, you never know. I mean, I don't know anyone who's, you know, reached that stage yet. I've never talked to anyone who's reached that stage, but I would imagine that they, you know, spend their time doing what they weren't allowed to do when they were, you know, living with their parents. Like, that's what I would do. If, like, when I turn 18, uh, I'm gonna want to get out of the house and, you know, go to the closest beach and city, like, every night and just hang out and enjoy the city nightlife, you know? Like, that's the dream right now. And, it makes me think, like, would that still be the dream if I was allowed to do those things? Or would it, like, become more normal to me and I'd, you know, want to do it less? Because if, you know, the reason why they're not allowing me to go to the city at night is, you know, because of the dangers and the how it's, you know, not just like a 5-minute drive to come pick me up, it's like half an hour. And I think it's just the distance from me that they're worried about, which I don't really get. I mean, I get it. You want your kid to be in close proximity to you just in case anything goes wrong. But you just gotta let them live, you know what I mean? And I'm trying not to let my rebellious teenager come out right now. Not that I am one, but God damn it. I know I said I wouldn't speak with bias, but it's kind of hard. You know, how are those kids going to... Because I've had a bunch of friends in the past with super controlling parents. Like, they force them to do things and they, like, punish them severely if they don't. And they... Like, how is that gonna affect their adulthood? Is it... I can't imagine it being good for them. I can only imagine it, you know, becoming traumatic when you grow up and distancing yourself from your parents, which isn't what any parent wants. But it's if you try and keep someone too hard, you start to push them away. That's what I've found. The more you try to keep someone to stay, the more they'll want to leave. No matter what you're offering. It's a weird thing about that. I guess people just like the feeling of freedom, which who doesn't, to be fair. But Yeah, man, if I was allowed, I'd be out every night. Every single night, I'd be just walking around the city, at the beach, you know, and I'd be living my best life. But I wonder if that'd be the same if I was allowed to do that. I like to imagine it is. Just, you know, because if it is, you know, just a rebellious thing where I want to do the opposite of what I'm told, then I'm completely wrong about all this. But I think I am genuinely just, you know, a night owl. I love the night environment. And it kind of sucks that you know, I'm not allowed most times. You know, that's how the cookie crumbles. But then again, family is so important. That's what I've realized, you know, in the past couple of days, is that family is, it's the one thing that will always be there. Not necessarily for everyone, but, you know, for most people, I like to think, most cases, you will always have a family, and that family will always love you unconditionally. That's what I've, you know, that's what it only took, you know, people walking out of my life to realize that family will never walk out, right? They always have my back. And that's a good feeling. It's good. It stops me from being, you know, completely and utterly just quarantined from all social being, not social being, social life, you know. Like, little story. Once I was like, I was not in a good mood, right? I just lost someone who I really liked. Not a death or anything, it just like unadded me. And I was really upset. And I just felt like the biggest loner. And, you know, I thought I had nobody. And then my cousin called me and was like, yo, bro, just hop on the game. And I was like, yo, alright, this is cool. So I hopped on it. We just had like the best time for the rest of the night. And it made me forget that I, you know, just lost this person. And it stopped me from feeling lonely because I had people that genuinely liked me for who I was. Mm. I've never been I've never been that family oriented. I've always, you know, not really cared that much about the whole family thing. Like, of course I love them, but like I love them, and you know, I'd be upset if anything were to happen to them. But you know, my mom always says to me like, "Oh, you should come hang out with your grandparents," and I'm like, "I don't really want to. I'm always bored and I don't have fun." And she's like, "Well, it's you gotta spend the time that you have with them as valuably as possible." Did that even make sense? I don't know. But you get what I mean. And I never agreed with her on that. Like, I always prioritized my own feelings. If, you know, like I've always been like an individual. I've never been rely it on. How am I trying to word this? I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm just gonna change topics. Back to the parents topic. I want to talk about the pros and cons. If you have controlling parents, there are pros and there are cons. Pros, there's a chance that they will push you in the right path and you will become successful. Like one friend that I know, right? Super controlling parents, but he is successful. Like he's getting good opportunities in life and he's moving up. And, that's good. But is it worth it? Is it worth it to be so heavily controlled? Not like you're just being controlled all your life. Yeah, you're successful, but I actually can't speak on his behalf. I don't know what goes on in his head. I don't know if I don't hang out with him enough to really know how he feels about it. And I don't like asking people about their family life because that just feels too personal. So, yeah, maybe one of you guys listening have been through that where you have super controlling parents, but they pushed you in the right direction. Like, you might not have liked the journey, but you liked the destination. So, was it worth it? Anyone listening? Anyways, I wonder if stricter parents equals more successful child. Are there any statistics on that? Like, if more successful people had stricter parents growing up? I don't know, it's weird. It's weird. Parenting's weird, man. Because every parent's unique, every child's unique. And it's like a little chemical reaction. But it's completely unique, you know what I mean? Like, some parents could not align well with their children. Like, you see that a lot. And sometimes a parent and a child may get along perfectly, like best friends. It's all just luck, really. It's all just the cards you were dealt when you were born. But yeah, if you're really chill parents, like, is there a higher chance of you being like lazy or something? Because I can't lie, I'm pretty lazy. Like, I never did well in school. Well, I did well until it got to the further years when I had to do more work. And I started falling off, which was when I decided to drop out and take up a trade. So I wonder if my laziness has anything to do with, the way I was raised. I hope it isn't, because I don't want to blame them for anything. Is it bad if you do blame them? If, you've got something not right? Like, if you're super lazy and your parents aren't trying to help you, can you blame them for not trying to help? or making you lazy in the first place. Well, in certain cases, you definitely could, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't like to blame other people for, my own qualities and morals. Yeah, I'd like to see the effect of different types of parenting on people throughout their entire life. I think that's interesting. When I am a parent, if I ever become a parent, I hope, I think I'm gonna be, in my mind right now, at this age, I think I'm gonna be a chill parent and very easygoing. Do what you want, just don't add or subtract from the population, you know? But I don't know if that's gonna change. I hope it doesn't. Because I want my kid to, experience life to the fullest. That's what I'm trying to do, and I'm happy doing it. But I also don't want them to just wander off into like a death trap, you know? Man, I'm so excited to be a dad, man. I'm so excited. I get to I get to raise someone. I get to mold someone into, an adult, into a member of society. That's such a cool concept. Why am I talking about parents in like a fucking game? Nah, but like, I don't know, man. I hope I'm a good dad. I hope I don't, ruin anything, mess anything up. Man, I also don't know what the world's gonna look like. The world could just be like in a really shit place. Hopefully not. Fingers crossed. Little water break. Stay hydrated. Oh man, this has been a boring episode. I'm sorry, guys. Let me try and spice it up a little. Let's talk about artists, man, like musical artists. I have always had a fascination with, you know, massive, massive artists who have completely changed the world. You know, my favorite artists are Nirvana and Eminem, two completely world-changing uh, events that, you could go out today or tomorrow and you could probably see a Nirvana shirt if you walk around for long enough. Like, I can almost promise you, if you go out, you will see a Nirvana shirt. And that band died 31 years ago? Yeah, 31 years ago, and you're still seeing shirts being worn by, like, actual children. And it's like kind of a niche, not niche, but it's not a mainstream genre too. And you still see kids in Nirvana shirts to this day. I think that's crazy. Like, that's how big of an effect they've had on so many lives, that you still see their merchandise 30 years after, it ended. R.I.P. Kurt, by the way. I miss you. Not that I've ever seen him, but man, that's the thing about, death. I can't imagine Kurt Cobain being, how old would it be now? 58, I think. 58 he would be, if he didn't off himself. I think he did immortalize himself by pulling that trigger. He kept, he immortalized Nirvana, like putting a painting in a canvas, not a canvas, a fucking frame. And that's special. That's a really special thing. That, that little brief part of history is, it hasn't aged at all. And that's cool. Like, you can still look back at the videos of him performing, and I don't know how to explain this. It's a weird, I don't know. Really weird things give me really weird feelings sometimes. I don't know if that's just me, but like listening to this music that's in the background, like at night, it just makes me feel euphoric. By the way, if you want to listen to this music, it's called Dark Ambience. I fucking love it. It's changed my life over the past couple years. Highly recommend if you're into it. Anyways, yeah, and Eminem too. Like, he was the biggest artist in the world at one point. And man, I'd give anything to live back when Nirvana and Eminem were around. Imagine being a teenager when Kurt Cobain and Eminem changed the world. I would give anything. But can't go back in time. I hope one day that I'll get to see an artist um that influential. Is that a word? Influential? I'm making up words now. Wait, no, that is a word. Yeah, influential. I hope in my lifetime I get to see an artist as influential as those two. That'd be cool. That'd be cool to live through. I've kind of missed everything. I missed 9/11. I missed, World War One, Two, Vietnam War, all those things. I didn't miss COVID though. Lived through that. Oh man. Looking back on it, it was fun, guys. Let's be honest, it was fun. If you're a teenager, of course. If you're an adult, it was probably a shit show. I don't know, I was in my own world during those days. Playing Fortnite. Oh. Alright, this episode's been a stinker, I can't lie. Hopefully I'll think of some new topics by tomorrow. But yeah, Eminem, man. Massive artist, and he's still changing the world. I like to think sometimes that he made more people swear, like he made swear words more common, that's kind of cool to think about. Like, the reason why people swear so much is because of Eminem and how he made it mainstream for the entire world. That's cool. That's cool. But yeah, man. I've talked to people who lived through those days, and they described it as like the best time of their life, and I wish I could experience that. Who else is big? The Weeknd, biggest highest streamed artist in the world. Spotify. But he just doesn't compare to Eminem. What made him so like big? I don't, I can't understand that concept. Like, why isn't the week? Is it because he's not controversial? Controversial? Like Eminem, he did everything against. He went against the grain, and that's what made him stand out. And influenced so many people that it was just something nobody's ever seen before. But The Weeknd, he's kind of just like, no offense to any fans out there, he's just a really good artist. Like, he doesn't have the same influences. Not the same influence, the same, that same explosion that Eminem had when he came out. Oh. Just having a moment of silence right now. Comment down below, what's your favorite Eminem song? And Nirvana. Put both of them down. To be honest, I don't have any. I don't have favorites. I have songs that I really like, but I don't have favorites. There's too many to choose from. I think it's kind of weird when people ask, like, what's your favorite of anything? Because most times I don't have a favorite. Like, if you ask me, what food do I like, I could give you answers. But if you ask me what's my favorite food, I'm like, I don't know. That's like comparing apples to oranges. I can't say like I like steak and waffles, right? But you can't really pick a favorite out of those two. This has been an absolute yap sesh. Holy moly. Well, I think that's going to be the end of the episode for today. Hope you guys semi-enjoyed this one. Trust me, guys. There will be better episodes in the future. Don't worry. Well, anyways, guys. Have a good night. See you tomorrow. See ya.